everybody. Welcome back to the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, coming to you as always from the Retro Wrestling Archive in Gadsden, Alabama. Along with producer Smokey doing his thing behind the scenes, making it all happen. Now I got to welcome my co-host. First up, he is the president of the Richard Lee fan club. It's Josh Briley of P3 Radio. What's up, Josh?
Man, I have organized a Facebook search group for this guy because we cannot confirm if he is alive or dead, honestly. So I need, I'm going to reach out to some more sources. I got to get some more coal lanterns, and I got a couple more dogs. I need to get in the yard, and then we're out looking for this motherfucker. How you doing?
Good, because I'm good, man, because it's weird in the internet era. I mean, going on 2 years now, we have tried to find out if he's okay or where he's at or what he's been up to. Yeah. And literally nobody.
You remember about a year and a half ago, I sent you the doppelganger of him. It was it looked like him. And he was like, no, dude, worked at Walmart for all these years. And it looks like him, but that can't be him. So
no, Richard Lee wasn't going out like that. But yeah, I mean, even like I thought, when I went up to Pulaski, Tennessee to the Kayfabe Cave and was going to talk to Bubba White, Moondog Splat, I'm like, he's going to have some information. And even he was like, man, last thing I knew, Richard moved out to California and was doing some stuff out there with music and whatnot. And he's like, man, I don't know. He was like, surely if he was still alive, I'd have heard from him, but not necessarily. So the mystery continues. But I know we had a lot of fun with, ragging on the Moondogs and Richard Lee by the end of, 93. Mm-hmm. But man, hearing his voice on here, I didn't realize that I had started to miss him a bit, and especially missed hearing you do Richard Lee. So I'm kind of happy he's back. And speaking of people who are happy that Richard Lee and the Moondogs is back, of course, we got to bring on our other co-host. He's the owner, founder, and president of stspod.club, and he is, and don't you forget it, the new king of Jonesboro. Spoiler alert, it's BT, Brian Trammell. There you go. Hold your cape on. Don't let your cape roll away in the wind.
Don't let it drop. I want to say good morning to everyone.
That's where I dropped the ball. I got to start introducing. If I'm going to call you the new king of Jonesboro, I've got to do the actual promo. And do here he is, the new king of Jonesboro. It is BT. Brian Trammell.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My best friend Gene and my favorite host of P3 Radio, Josh. I'm getting Buck over here, brought to you by Jolly Royal Furniture at 122 South Main Street in Memphis, Tennessee, and Spaghetti Warehouse at 40 West Hulling. Smokey gets on to me all the time. I got to say that right. Hulling Avenue in Memphis. There, I did it, Smokey. And he also gave me something else to say. Airport Toyota, guys, if you get that ad and you bring it to me this week in Jonesboro, Arkansas, I'll give you $1 off a shirt. That's right, $1 off a shirt.
BT,
guys, I'm ready.
Like Burt Prentice at the intermission up in here.
Yeah. I'm fired up about this show, man. Don't call it a comeback, but it's back, buddy. This was a good one for me.
All right. Well, I wasn't expecting this kind of energy this early in this show, but and it's December 7th, 1991. We were almost all the way through 1991. I don't know. It's been kind of a long ride, but I don't know. That's just surprising to me. But now it's starting to pop up in my Facebook feed like a year ago where we were wrapping up 93 and starting to have like year in review and all that. And I forgot about that. Like, I got to go back and see what all kind of year end awards we did for 93 so we can do some of that for 91. And those should be pretty fun and interesting. But right now, going back to December the 7th, Dave Brown is here. Corey Maclin is here. I think he's officially here, guys. I think we've got Corey Maclin from now on, if I'm remembering right. So that's
Corey
exciting.
Maclin up in there.
At least for me in there, to have Corey in there. We're going to have the Moondogs here. Jerry Lawler is going to defend the Unified Heavyweight title against Kamala. We have not seen Kamala in studio yet, and he's going to be here challenging Lawler for the title. We're actually going to watch that match here during this show. God, let me say something real quick. If from now until I pass away, whenever that is, I hope it's a long, long time from now. If I never see that Kamala video again, it'll be too fucking soon. Dude, we have seen this every episode since Kamala has come back to town. We have seen this video at least once, and in some episodes, twice. They are beating this thing to death.
So what you're saying is when you die, if you die before me and Josh, we go to the funeral and we make sure that that's part of that little video that they show at your funeral. So, all right, you got it, buddy.
And based on age, but I would assume,
I'll die first, so.
I would assume, I may be wrong, but I would assume that Michael St. John will probably pass away before me because he's quite a bit older than me. So if you guys one of y'all get together with him and make a video where he goes, Gene Jackson, 6'1", 360 pounds, Gene Jackson, podcaster. Get him to make one of those videos about me, like show the Kamala one, show that one, and then for the people who will get the joke, immediately show the Kamala one again. Do the funeral and then show the Kamala one again as everybody's leaving. That'll be a great gag. I think I could probably at least get Richard on board for that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like it.
So we're going to see the Southern heavyweight champion, Dr. Tom Pritchard, supposed to be taking on Eric's driver, Tony. And in the main event, Jeff Jarrett and Robert Fuller are going to be taking on Doug Masters and Bart Sawyers, as he's come to be known, at least on this show, after they the Bart Man. Corey's even starting to say, it wasn't just Dave, but Corey's getting a little enthusiastic about the Bart Man in there. And the Moondogs, they immediately took those tag team titles last week. They still got them this week. I guess Jarrett and Fuller's taking it off the table. They're not going to just tease us every week with if we don't win the titles. We're not we're gonna split the team. So the show starts out with Richard Lee coming out, and Moondogs have got the tag titles. They got the Bones. Richard Lee says he told everybody the previous week the Moondogs would leave as the World Tag Team Champions, and they did. And so let's see. I wanted to watch a little bit of this match they have. They have the opening match of the day against Spirit of America and the Warrior.
Oh my God.
What a tag team. God help us. But this isn't your typical Moondog match. Now they cheat a little bit here and there where they can, but apparently in 91, we have not adopted this. Hey, rules just don't apply. We're not going to say it every time. We're not going to define this, but we're all just going to be under this quiet agreement that Moondog matches don't have rules unless we couldn't come up with a better finish. Then we'll end the match with a disqualification, even though every Moondog match we've seen for the last 6 months, they beat people with chairs the entire time. But somehow on Monday night, a match would end with a DQ. But let's see right now, the Moondogs against Spirit of America and the Warrior. And you will notice two things about the entrance, if it shows it here. Warrior does not come running out there like the Ultimate Warrior. He may be trying to pass himself off as the Ultimate Warrior, but he's not doing that. And thank you, Lord, my prayers were answered. That god-awful music that Spirit of America was coming out to is not playing now when he comes to the ring. However, Lawler makes a strange music choice a little later in the show, but we'll talk about that.
Warrior and the Spirit of America who have arrived on the scene. Referee Frank Morrell says, ring the bell. I don't know who's going to be starting for either team, as a matter of fact. Looks like it's going to be Spot or Spike starting. Looks like it's going to be Spike, and it's going to be Spirit of America for his team. And here's Corey Maclin.
All right, thank you, Dave. This is just the opening, just the beginning of a full day we've got today. Bulldog Spike, Spirit of America, and the opening bout of the tag team bout here today. Tangling up, Moondog Spike with a right hand from outside the ring.
Is a prime example of the outstanding character. These boys come in here and let these young girls fill their minds full of stuff, thinking that they're big, tough individuals. For the first time on television last week, and he took about 15 seconds to win a match. Spirit of America has really given a good accounting of himself around the USWA, but they're in trouble right now.
They've got the Moondogs, and these guys do not play, I tell you. They'll be up. Look out. Oh, boy. See if I can get back over here. One of the Moondogs has got Spirit of America over here by the death table, and The Moondogs back in the USWA, and boy, they came back in high fashion too, and they working on the Spirit of America outside the ring. The other Moondog has the Warrior on the other side, I guess. Picks up Spirit of America, throws him outside the ring there again, and he rolls over. Moondog picks up that chair, and oh man, just slams his head on the back of Spirit of America. Oh man, oh, and again he slams that chair on his back. These guys are rough and tough. The Moondogs, boy, they come in here. Just the opening bout today. Big Spirit of America up outside the ring. The Warrior and Spike are inside the ring there. There's that chair again.
There's one of them first boys there. He's fixing to get that pretty face messed up. Well, the Moondogs are just running wild in
Yeah,
here.
they are.
And against tough competition, too. But I tell you what, they have for another day.
Yeah.
Richard Lee blowing that whistle.
Yeah, Richard Lee still blowing that thing and trying to get the Moondogs. Oh, trying to get him more furious. And Spirit of America finally gets over, gets the tag on his partner, the Warrior, in the ring now. Warrior getting a few licks on Moondog's spot. Spot into the ropes now. Catches the Warrior down. And Moondog on that middle rope comes down. Oh, man, did he ever flip him over? Oh, he rolls the Warrior over for the cover. 1, 2, it is over with. Yeah, that's it.
The last 2 minutes of that match may be the most awkward 2 minutes of a TV match we've ever seen. Nothing was gelling at all there. They get what would, I guess, be considered the hot tag there when they had that awkward thing where Spot went, like, he leaned in, not quite enough for a backdrop, but almost like you think that's what he had been doing, but then they just kind of bumped into each other, and Spirit of America just quickly ran over and tagged before anybody could stop him. And Warrior comes in and gets just shut down. He just gets pulled into a side headlock, and they take him over for the finish. Somebody must have told the Moondogs or Richard Lee, hey, Spirit of America doesn't really know how to go out of the ring when you throw him out of the ring. Mm-hmm. He needs to get some practice. They threw him out of that ring at least half a dozen times during his match. What do you guys think of this fine tag team bout?
I like the newness of it, because this show's been needing something else in the mix for almost a month now, and it's almost like it's starting to take hold. The Moondogs are not just like a one and done type team, like those god awful cowboy gimmicks. What was it? I can't even remember their names, but they were awful.
One of those sets of outlaws, the Texas Outlaws.
No, the Marinos. Maybe those
guys. Oh dear God.
Yeah, they were just kind of there, then left. No, the Moondogs seem like they're here to stay. They got the belts now, and they're, like you said, they're not the Moondogs that we know of yet, but they're slowly leaning into the more violence. And man, I love the violence being inflicted on the Spirit of America, and the Warrior was a fucking bonus. He deserves it though, putting that picture up there like that on that Chiron.
I agree with it. They treated them like jobbers, and I loved it. This is what I wrote as a note. I was like, what just happened to the Spirit of America and the Warrior push? It's not going to happen. The Moondogs are back. So there you go.
Boy, and speaking of back, Spirit of America's rat tail was back with a vengeance in this one, boy. I mean, it was fluffed out. I think he had, bleached it a little different color than the rest of his hair, but it really stood out.
He's using that Vidal Sassoon.
That's right. He is. Done sassed it up in there, but I loved hearing Richard Lee over there chiming in on commentary. These little girls done filled their head with.
I love that. That was so great, dude. It's like I'm mad at him from being pretty. Like he's pissed off these pretty boys are out here making his dogs look bad. Oh,
I said last week that it didn't quite sound like the Richard Lee we were used to from '93. This week, he sounds like he's getting back in the mode. And this was the Richard Lee that I was wanting to hear.
Well, I think he's getting comfortable because he probably hadn't had like live TV time per se before. At least I can remember. And wherever he was, it was probably tape. But Yeah, he just seemed like reserved the last week or two, but here he's really molding into what we would know would blossom into the real Richard Lee.
And then in 93, there was the awkwardness of like babyface Moondogs and babyface Richard Lee for so much of the year. You know, it's like, this don't feel right. But I get it.
I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm not good at dates. Was this actually Richard Lee with the Moondogs the first time they were ever together?
Yeah. I mean, this is their first run in Memphis with Richard Lee, as far as I can remember. I could be wrong there, but I can't remember. They weren't around in 1990 and they haven't been around in 91.
And they've been gone since what? Since they did the Fast feud, then they did Lawler Jarrett feud, and then we haven't. But Richard Lee wasn't with them during all that, was he?
I don't think so.
No, the Lawler and Jarrett feud's coming up.
Now. Oh, okay.
We're about to get into that.
I'm confused.
Yeah, and see, I was thinking, I had forgotten. I was thinking, Jarrett and Fuller splitting the team is how we ended up with Lawler and Jarrett. But no, Fuller and Jarrett got back together, and then eventually we'll get to Lawler. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah,
well, I know for sure Larry Latham was a Moondog in the WWF from like what 85, and then even up until 88. I just saw
about 88. Yeah.
I just saw him feel like, I don't think Richard Lee's been in Memphis with them.
And Richard Lee had been in Nashville in like 89 for that weird Max Payne promotion, that IWA.
Right. Oh, really? Yeah. I loved that. That promotion was a big favorite with tape traders because it was so god awful.
Yeah. Yes. And so that's where he gets, he had been on the outskirts of the business, like he did that Moondog song back in the day and all that.
Right.
That's where he actually breaks in. And I think this is where he first comes to Memphis. So,
all right. Well, that makes some sense. Willie the Wrestling Clown. Look it up.
We got to do I know other people have, like my buddy Jimmy Street has covered it, but like at some point we get done with our deep dive of Ozark Mountain Wrestling, we may have to take a look at IWA, because that Dr. I
don't remember none of that stuff.
That manager who helped run it with Max Payne, God bless, it's on the tip of my tongue, Dr. Squatch or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
He reached out and actually wanted to be on the podcast. And I was like, wow, I want to do something with you at some point. And of course, I interviewed Max Payne a while back, and he told me he'd come back anytime I wanted him to. So we might could get some insight from those guys.
Willie the Wrestling Clown had a vignette, Josh, where he was on roller skates.
Oh, so almost like the Metapocalypse character.
Oh, it was god awful. And then me and my friends came up with an X-rated version of Willie the Wrestling Clown. But I'll wait to share that. That's a teaser. By the way, Josh, I know you heard him say that, but Gene's a good salesman. But we do have one of my favorite episodes of all time. We started covering Ozark Mountain Wrestling just for a deep dive, and we had such a fun time with it. Yeah. So y'all look for that on the main feed sometime in July.
Yep, coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about it a little more here at the end, and we'll also talk about what I got coming out this week that I'm pretty excited about. But
all right,
next. So there's been times on this show where the first thing out of the gate has made me think, "Oh God, I clicked on the wrong show." And we've all said that. We've all said we've done it.
Right.
You back out of it, and you're like, no, oh shit, this is it. Well, I knew, based on the fact that the Moondogs were here as the new champions and they're wrestling Spirit of American Warrior, I'm like, all right, well, this is the right show. But when this next guy came through the curtain with this look and this random lady with him, I'm like, are we sure this is the right episode? And I looked at the date, because this don't look like the same guy who was on my TV even a week ago. Check out the new look of Eric Embry.
Tony fought the flag of Texas, and here comes Eric Embry. It's the new look of Eric Embry. My goodness, what is it with the new look here, huh?
Dave, I want you to meet somebody. I told you I had you on TV, didn't I? This is CJ, Dave. You know, CJ. I was walking down the mall, and this lovely, beautiful lady come running up to me, and she said, "Aren't you Eric Embry? Aren't you Eric Embry?" And you know, Dave, I said, "Well, yeah, I'm Eric Embry." She goes, "Gosh, you're the biggest star I've ever met in my life." She knows what a star I am. You know, we hit it off real well, Dave. I mean, we hit it off. CJ and I went out to dinner, and we're sitting there at the table. And CJ, you know, we were kind of getting personal, you know. And she says, Eric, can I ask you something personal, real personal? And I said, sure. And she said, what's happened to you? I said, what do you mean? She goes, you've been up here in the Mid-South too long because you're starting to dress like these people. You're starting to look like these people. And I said, oh. So you know what? I got up and I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror. And I come back to the table and I said, CJ, you're right. I've been around these sweaty, I can't really call these people what I want to call them, Dave, but I've been around them too long. So you know what we did? We went down to CJ's boutique. CJ kind of groomed up the hair a little bit.
I noticed the new look of the hair and that the beard is a little neater.
Then we went shopping. She bought me a whole lot of new clothes, Dave. She bought me a lot of new clothes.
Well, I must say, there is the new look. I wish maybe you could work on his attitude a little bit while you're at it, too.
Oh, Dave. So, you see, you know, I'm kind of lost, Dave.
Well, I tell you,
I'm not lost. You know what it is?
Yeah,
I'm infatuated, man.
well, I tell you, I think what it is.
Something left with it.
I don't.
There's been something messed in my life, and I found it now, man. She takes me shopping. She fixes my hair, and this lovely lady just takes care of me to a T, Dave Brown. Now, what else I want to talk about?
Well, I guess you maybe want to talk about the matches that are coming up or something like that.
Yeah. I want to. Tony Falk. Tony's had to put his hair up.
Yep.
Against the Southern Heavyweight title. You know, Pritchard, you wasn't man enough just to put the title up. You said make it worth your while. Well, Tony Falk, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I wanted to bring you out here on television in front of the whole world and say you ain't got nothing to worry about. You won't lose your hair. Will it? I believe it.
No, if you do happen to lose your hair, Tony, trust me, dear, we'll have to start from scratch, but I'll give you a look people won't forget.
She'll take care of you, Tony. What does she mean? She'll take care of you.
Doesn't do much for his confidence. I don't think that.
First of all, I have my doubts that that's a new suit he's wearing, but we'll get to that. So that was legit. When he stopped and goes, I'm lost, Dave. And he really was, because he didn't get back on track until Dave said, I think he's wanting to talk about a match coming up. Oh, yeah, Tony Falk. But before that, he was drowning. Like he had gotten this completely out of sorts there. But I like the new look. It's funny how, like, a haircut and beard and all that, like, it made his face look like thinner. It looked like he had lost 100 pounds in a week just based off the last time we saw him, just this new look. What did you guys think of this whole presentation?
I had two thoughts initially, you know, or after he got into the promo and got lost and all that. My 2 points were, this woman done sucked the sense out of the Sunday. Like, he has never came out there and drowned like that. This man is too relaxed. He didn't have enough hate in him. He was too clear-headed out there. Like and number two, he must have went to the video store and got inspiration. Do you remember that movie Used Cars that had Kurt Russell?
Yes.
He had a jacket similar in that movie.
Yes.
But this movie's from like 1980, so god damn, it looked like something that like would have been in Welcome Back, Kotter or something.
Exactly.
It was awful.
Man, I got a new suit. And I'm like, dude, that suit, that's like shit Lance Russell had been wearing back in the damn 60s or something. Like, good Lord. I could not find anything on this woman. Do you know anything about her, BT?
I didn't. I was going to ask you the same thing, but I was thinking the same thing that Josh did, because I have this saying that I tell the wife. We had a friend of ours, she could get a man no matter what. I mean, she'd drop a man, have another one. I say she had a gold line snooch. It was gold in there. And I mean, she could get these men to do anything. she had a man. I can't say some of that stuff because they don't know what we're talking about. But she did. She had a gold line snooch, and I think that's what's up with CJ here. It's lined with gold, and Eric Embry is just getting his hair did change everything about him. It was really weird. And all I could think of when I saw this promo is the stuff we went through about Tony Falk last week. I'm thinking that motherfucker gonna get his hair cut because they screw him no matter. Wouldn't it have been better if Embry would have put his hair on the line again? Because he just got his hair did. I mean, it might mean something.
And then somehow switch it to Falk, use one of those, the contract stated some other bullshit.
Right.
Because everybody watching, even like kids, are like, oh, well, if the only thing at stake is Tony Falk's hair, there's no way he's winning this damn thing.
Yeah.
Obviously we're out to humiliate Tony Falk at all costs. Gold line snooch. Wow. In the words of Nicolas Cage, that's high praise.
It is, man. It happens eventually. I've tasted gold line snooch, and it'll mess you up, brother. It'll mess you up. So
walking the edge. You're on the fence line, brother.
That's right, brother. Mercy, daddy. Mercy.
You're getting close.
So, you sound like Kramer talking about that Kenny Rogers chicken. Bad chicken mess you up. Messed you up.
So true.
So this is going to spoil something for down the road, but I was going to say, so I tried to do some research on CJ because my thoughts were exactly along the lines of what you guys are kind of driving at here. I just thought this is some chick that Eric Embry has hooked up with. Like, I'll put you on TV, man.
Right. Rizat.
Cut my hair, buy me some clothes. Like, this is a shoot. She does own a boutique.
A bit of a shoot.
She does do hair.
But the only thing I could find on her is that when she goes away, it's because she goes to the promotion and says that she's being sexually harassed by Eric Embry.
Oh, this is her. Wow. This is the girl. Oh,
yes.
Wow. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that throws a kink in that logic. So I don't know.
Cassette Wrestling News covered that story. So if you want.
So, if our friend Tony Myers is listening right now, and he probably is at some point, he usually listens to these, and then I'll hear from him. Tony, reach out to me or BT1. I know you've got some insight on this. You have to.
Who was that? Yeah.
He knows a little bit about everything when it comes to Memphis wrestling. So I'm curious to hear if that wasn't her way in. Then who was she? How did she get in? Why did she get stuck with Embry? And what she thought she was going to manage some dude in wrestling and not get sexually harassed? Like, come on, what are you doing?
Come on, it's 1991. Look,
you don't know the wrestling.
2026. I mean, it happens. What the hell?
I mean, you just assume they're signing up for it. I'm not saying it's right. Don't go start a campaign against us that Gene was saying that, but I'm just like, come on.
Can you see Eric Embry riding like from Louisville back to fucking Memphis with her? You can't just ride in the car for free. You got to do something, man. Ain't nothing free in wrestling.
You ain't see that bumper sticker on the back about ass, grass, or cash? Nobody rides for free. That's a shoot. Just ask Tony. Or Tony.
Yeah, that felt real to me. It felt like that girl came into wrestling and did do all that stuff for Eric. I mean, I know the suit was pretty bad, but it made me think that I was really thinking it was Rizat.
I mean,
he just talked her into it. So
I know. I mean, we've seen. God, how many promos have we seen from Eric Embry? In some shows, 2 or 3 in the same show. I've never seen all the things I ever saw him do in Texas, all the things I've seen him do in Memphis. I've never seen him just in the middle of a promo, just completely shut down and like just you see his head's buffering in the middle of this thing. Like, I'm lost, and he says, "I'm lost, Dave." And then he immediately tries to catch himself because he doesn't want Dave to have to correct course for him, but eventually does. And maybe it's just because he was doing a different style promo because it wasn't he's man and hollering. I was so tired of the hollering Eric Embry promos because it's like, dude, the first few that you did kind of meant something, but like now, when every promo is just you shouting, like, all right, it's all the same shit. So I was happy. The new look, Eric Embry, the new style promo got me. And then when he gets lost, I was like, okay, yeah, he is infatuated with this chick. And then turns out if that's not the case, then I don't know what the hell's going on here. But you can count on the fact that once this promo ended, we eventually see the Kamala video package again, even though he's fixing to be in the studio, and you're going to see Kamala and how tall he is and how much he weighs. But we follow that up with the Jerry Lawler My Way video. And, you know, all right, Memphis over the years has had some really questionable musical choices on some of these videos. Like Rob and the guys have watched some of those videos recently on some of the live streams, and some of those, I think, like me and Ray watching 85, there's like just some really weird songs, you know, like they don't get you fired up for anything. Like you think these videos should be to get you pumped up to see these guys live, and it's like these John Denver songs and just just like strange, just low key.
Hey, don't be talking about John Denver.
Well, we get that, and that's fine. But then they play My Way as Jerry Lawler comes out the curtain to the ring. And I was like, what the, like, this is almost as bad as God Bless America. Oh, nothing will ever be worse than that.
No.
But let's watch this match right here. Jerry Lawler, this is to me. Now, at this point in 91, Kamala has headlined in every territory there is at different points. He was in Crockett against Magnum TA for the U.S. title. He had his run with Hogan on top.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is on television challenging Lawler for the unified title. To me, in 91 as a kid, this would have seemed huge. But even as an adult, I'm like, shit, this is a big deal. We're doing this in the middle of the damn show. So let's take a look at this.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. And I'm not going to talk. I was going to do a spoiler. I'll shut up. By the way, if you'll listen real close in the crowd, somebody says, Oogla Boogla! Oogla Boogla! So I will never be able to see Kamala without thinking that in my mind. So who's Kimchi, y'all?
Well,
I take a guess.
I said Don Bass or Nate the Rat.
Nate the Rat.
Josh?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. That body type, I guess in the area at this time, maybe, like I'll go with BT's Don Bass, maybe.
Buddy Wayne.
Buddy Wayne!
Oh, wow.
I knew when I said it, you're going to hate yourself for not assuming that, looking at the body type. But yeah, Buddy Wayne.
Now
is
it
Friday.
makes sense. Yeah.
Buddy Wayne with Kamala. Where's Kamala's wig at?
Well, that's only on the weekends. Yeah. He has to make some extra income when he's in Memphis. That ain't what he's used to making.
This match, you know, we watched one of these matches from the Mid-South Coliseum on Watch Along, Ride Along, ringside.
In there.
This was better. This was a better match.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This is a Coliseum match. If you go to the Mid-South Coliseum, this is the match you'll get. Not a house show match, but the Coliseum, it's a really good match, I think.
And I noticed Meltzer put it over in the newsletter that he put this match over as being, you know, a good match. So I wonder, did he get the tape and see this, or was he just going off reports? You think?
He went off what I said.
Okay, so I didn't know if you were sending him in here or not.
I was still sending it. No, I take that back. He probably got the tape because I'm really out of the bit.
I was thinking that you were out of the loop by now.
Yeah, because I don't remember any of this stuff. So, yeah, I was in shock when it said. I thought they was going to do some kind of a gimmick, you know, where they didn't have the match, and then man.
Well, I was glad to see Kamal show up because I was thinking, I mean, good God, it's just like Terry Funk earlier in the year. You got the big star because I mean, can we say? Or I'm struggling to think of somebody else, but wouldn't Kamala be like, aside from Terry Funk, the biggest star that's been on TV right now at this point?
I think that would be a fair statement. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And they treated him the same way. I didn't know if he existed or not, and then they showed him in the clip from Monday night. But yeah, it was like 3-4 straight weeks or something. Just that Kamala video. And that's the only way we knew he existed.
And that video we knew was from '82, you know, so it wasn't like that was had any recency to it. I don't know.
I love those hope spots. He did a couple of hope spots. You think he's going to be making a comeback? And Kamala says, fuck that shit. I'm getting some more heat.
I wasn't like a Kamala fan, as in like I'm, you know, joining his fan club or was going to make a sign for him if I went to a show. But I did always like seeing Kamala wrestle as a kid. Like he always came off like a really big deal to me wherever he was at. And I always found it interesting. Now later I grew up, went back and was like, well, his matches were pretty, you know, there was nothing really exciting about him per se, but I just always perceived him as this huge threat and like how's somebody going to survive wrestling Kamala, and especially like in '87 when he's doing the splash off the top rope in WWF, just killing those jobbers.
Yeah, as a kid, these battles seem so important because it in my eyes, he was from Uganda. He was this wild son of a bitch that couldn't be controlled, and he might whoop Lawler's ass. You know, like that's the threat was real.
Yeah, I had no idea he was from my home state, and you know, and you know, my dad probably had came across him on a farm somewhere selling tractors at some point. But to me, he was like in the '80s. He is like the perfect opponent for both Lawler and Hulk Hogan because they can come from underneath. He seems like a genuine threat, and when they do make their comeback, they've really overcame something, you know.
Right.
Oh, he was huge in WWF. I mean, WWE, whatever you want to call it. Man, to me, he was just he started here, so he was one of those guys that I always followed, and I always thought it was a big deal whenever I'd see him in another territory somewhere. But man, they made mint with this guy against him and Hogan. If you go back and look at those gates, man, and that's where I really learned that he was a big draw. Was that when he died, Meltzer went, you know, Meltzer does a fantastic job for when someone, an obit. And he went over all the gates. And I was like, what? And it was, I mean, he was on one of those big Mid-South gate shows too. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a legitimate gripe, you know, when he was making those interviews late in life that he didn't get paid what he should have. I mean, that's definitely 100% truth. I mean,
yeah, especially them Hogan matches. There's no telling the difference. He maybe made 2,000. Hogan made 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know over time things change and all that, but he was such a legit heel. Like it killed me by the time we got to that point in WWF by like 93 or 4, whatever that was, where like Slick's managing, he's a baby face and he's acting like he doesn't know how to pin people. He's pinning them on their stomach, and then Coliseum Videos making videos of him and Slick bowling and all this silly shit. Because like, dude, like Kamala ain't for this. And then he ends up in the Dungeon of Doom in WCW, and he's just, by that point, he's just like a parody. And it's like, I think he still had more to give at that point than that, but maybe not.
What is the deal? When I'm watching this, all I can think of is how many times he's going to push Frank down, or, we're not going to get a DQ whatsoever. None of that made sense to me. I know the stipulation for Monday night, but while I'm watching it, I'm just like, what's going on?
BT, this motherfucker is from the jungles of Uganda. He's wild.
Well, I know. What was I thinking?
Feral.
Oogla boogla.
Oh, my God.
Someone's going to send a message that's racist. I apologize.
Yeah, producer Smokey's going to be having a stern email for you this week.
Fuck.
How do you spell that? That needs to be a T-shirt, maybe.
Oogla. I spelled UGLA, boogla, BOOGLA.
I love that you kind of said that almost with a tone of like common spelling, Gene. Duh.
Wait, shit. You didn't know? Oogla boogla?
No.
David.
Kamala's trying to out Moondog the Moondogs. Oh, listen to Corey.
Did he ever throw all into that table?
Oh, man.
Look out, Corey. Yep. Get out of the way here.
I love this match. Anybody, if they watch this match, this is Jerry Lawler. What you said earlier, and Hulk Hogan. This is how you get over as a babyface. Take heat. This is all Kamala.
He's serious about winning this world title today here on TV.
He's serious about winning the world title, although he's from. Oh, I thought he was going to chop the table with that. I was like, I missed that part.
To clear things up, Kamala. Oh, throws all his head on that.
91 is such a strange year, though. Like, yeah, he's feuding with Eric Embry, and there's a lot of personal Tennessee versus Texas shit. And then at one point, he's wrestling people like Tagar, and then we come back around to like this. You know, it's all over the place.
This was a failed thing they were trying to do. They wanted the other shot on that main camera that he's fixing to.
Yes, it was. It was majorly failed. Yeah.
Like, get the fucking shot!
He's in the camera, y'all. What are we doing?
Then they did it for like the last 2 seconds.
Somebody must have been asleep in the control room, not pushing the button. Because, like,
I'm gonna blame it on Randy Hales, no matter if he wasn't there or not. It was Randy's fault. Ooh, well, that looked good.
God damn, Frank Morrell had absurdly slow counts.
He did. It reminds me of the guy. I don't know if y'all ever watched CMLL. There's a heel guy there, and he does that. And I'm like, what's he doing? I thought he was turning heel.
Him, Frank, and Bronco Lubitsch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They said he used to like do counts with his foot. He was so lazy.
Yeah, like we were talking about on the World Class thing that Rob does a live show on Friday nights. They were talking about Bundy's and World Class in 82, but he's not doing the 5 count yet. I'm like, because with Bronco Lubitsch, there wasn't enough TV time to have easier falls with 5 counts. When I first was watching this the other day, I was afraid Frank Morrell was fixing to fire up right there on Kamala, and we were going to get like a Frank Morrell versus Kamala match or some shit.
We need to write the heels a letter. Every heel. If you try it the 3rd time, it fucks up, guys. Come on. Yeah. Stop doing it for the 3rd time. Up,
you
up.
Son of a bitch.
Strap is down.
Here he comes.
Kamala doing the Fred Sanford fist.
Yes,
there.
I love that. Oh, I love this match, y'all.
There it is. And that's the thing, too. Like, one big bump from Kamala meant more than 20 from...
Look at that. Kick out, baby.
I thought he had him there. That's about the 3rd or 4th time in a match. It looks like there has been a sure...
Wait, Lawler's going to put him on the table and do a dive from the turnbuckle. No. That's not the...
Oh, shit.
Look at that, boy. That's a Terry Funk bump right there.
Hell yeah. He can bump out of the ring better than Spirit of America.
Oh, that's sad. Here you go.
His attendant there. He don't know his
you don't know.
They keep calling him the attendant.
Yeah, that's it. That's all
Friday, son. Kimchi if you're in WWF, but what's happening here, guys?
Oh, I don't know.
He's like, I'm gonna eat your neck off. He's like, I got one.
I don't got
like too late. Somebody already did.
Good fireball, too, by the way. Look, spoiler.
Oh, he had to spoil it. God damn it.
Sorry.
Took him forever to get it. Damn!
In the face in there.
Kamala running, too, was priceless.
Yes.
Oh, it was good.
I didn't trip over one of them damn cables there, but...
There was only 30 of them down there.
Exactly. Like, y'all can't lay a rug over those or something?
Hey, that was 13 minutes from the start of them coming out to the end. I thought that was a...
Yeah, that's got to be the longest TV match of the year.
Yeah, that's the match that they do at the Coliseum. That's not... You know, at Coliseum, we talked about the time. Sometimes it'd be like 9 minutes or 7 minutes. Yeah.
Frank carries the belt over to him just so he can grab it, hold it up, so he can take it back away from him. Like, you know how that wouldn't happen if you just wouldn't have carried it to him.
Far, he got to throw that far, y'all.
Give me that belt.
You can't throw far at somebody and be the champion.
You can tell David and them were keyed in on this because there's no way they could have heard Frank Morrell say he was holding up the belt. So,
yeah, you can tell when they know what's coming because they really like hone in on it quickly before, you know, they would have just picked up on it.
Technicality anyhow. Because you're throwing the fire, I'm not having it.
Oh, he ain't having it, y'all.
It was going, but Frank
Frank
took quite a beating in the match from Kamala. And I know, but I don't know if
I know I've told y'all this before, but I have missed it since Kamala came back. All I can think about when Kamala comes is one of my friends saw I can't remember what 3 wrestlers were in the front of the pickup, but in the back was Kamala in the pickup, and they were all traveling together. And to me, I wish I should get an AI to make a picture of Kamala with the makeup in the back end of the truck. Yes.
Explain to me and all of you in the audience and all the people here in the studio.
That's the boss right there, y'all.
What happened?
Eddie Merlin,
forget
man.
Well, Eddie, Jerry Lawler, y'all know, right in front of my eyes, too far on Kamala. Wait just a second. Yeah, here comes Lawler. Let's let him have his say in this, too. That the holder of the championship until just moments ago.
Jerry, Frank, he just started to explain to it. I don't know. The people don't know, and you don't know. So if you'll explain it.
You don't know. Nobody knows.
Far on the guy right in front of me.
Who knows? Who's on first?
And that was a technical loss. You should have been disqualified right there. And another thing, Kamala, he shoved me around 3 or 4 times in the match. Yeah, well, I should have. I'm not. You're right. I should have, but I didn't. But in the meantime, but you throwing fire and him shoving me around like he did, I'm holding the belt up. That's all I got to say.
Well, wait just a minute.
Did you just like go fire him, Lawler?
Hold it up. What is it? What do we got to have another match? Can we have it right now for the bet? Let's have it right now. Get him back out here. You mean, in other words, you're telling me I'm not the champion right now?
No. Nobody's the champion right now.
Frank Morrell's like, do you not know what held up means?
That was a technical loss right there.
You've done this a bunch of times, you know.
What about all the stuff he's done out here? What are the chairs, the desk, the camera, what all that stuff? He should have been a technical loss on that stuff.
You're right. He did. He shoved me and everything. But I don't think the shove is near as dangerous as bad as the fire.
Wait a minute. It's a rule in the USWA, if a man puts his hand on the official, he is disqualified. And if he was disqualified, Lawler would now be the champion.
That's right. But I didn't do it.
I know that. So now he's as much a champion as I am. I got to go back in the ring with this big jerk for my belt.
That's right. That belt is held up.
It's held
I'm
up.
going to tell you one thing.
Helt.
That's your decision. The belt's held up. There's no champion.
Helt.
But that big
Helt.
Kamala's on the
It's
card
Helt
Monday
up.
night. Jerry Lawler's on the card Monday night. And this belt will be on the card Monday night because I am signing a rematch. The belt's on the line, and whoever wins that match will be the champion, and it won't be no belt held up. It'll be a
Wait
just 1 second, Frank Morrell. I want one stipulation in this match. I want one stipulation, and that's this. Throw this disqualification and technical loss out the window. Anything goes. Is that all right with you, Eddie Merlin? Because this jerk don't know anything about wrestling. He don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. He don't know how to abide by the rules. And so I'm not going to go in there having to abide by the rules either. I'm going to go in there.
Well, you
anything
didn't
goes because
5
I'm going to
minutes
take
ago.
that belt and I'm going to put it back
gonna
around
be
my waist
different.
where it ought to be right now anyway.
All right, so... All right, what are we doing here?
I was going to say the show's been held up.
It's been helt up. He's tired of this. So this is some of that wrestling logic here where the referee can hold the belt up regardless of how Eddie Marlin feels about it or Jerry Lawler or anybody else. But then once he states that, now Eddie Marlin like, well, all right, but Monday night is for the title. And then Lawler can state he wants a stipulation, and all right, we can do it. So he can do everything, but he cannot say, no, fuck that. You're not holding the belt up here, Jerry. Here's the belt back. You know, like it's weird, the lines in the sand that you kind of have to just turn your mind off and go like, well, why can Eddie Marlin do this, this, and this? But yeah, he can't do anything about, he don't agree with Frank Morrell holding the belt up, but it's helt up. That's just the way that it is.
And Dave threw in that line somewhere in all this bullshit of, well, in the USWA, the belt can change hands on a disqualification. Well, I didn't fucking know that. I'd never heard that before.
They have pulled that out a couple of weird times, like where it suited them.
Yeah.
But yet there's been 1,000 title matches where it didn't, but there were a couple of weird title changes where like, oh yeah, in USWA the rule is blah blah blah. And they quote back to a time where somebody was champion and was getting themselves disqualified every week. So Eddie Marlin's like, all right, we're overturning the disqualification rule. You can lose your belt on disqualification. And you assume it's just for this one match.
Yeah.
And that may have been the intent, but Dave over like a 2 or 3 year period would just randomly throw that out there from time to time. And they did switch the tag team belts on a disqualification once, stating that rule as the reason, even though there had been multiple. I think it might have even been in 93 in one of those Moondog Harris's matches or something. Because it's like, number one, how did one of those matches end in a DQ? And then number two, why is all of a sudden week 17 is the week that the title changed on disqualification?
Yeah.
But the previous 16 weeks it didn't. But Memphis logic, what can you do? But hey, what a hell of a match to have there in the studio. Like, if I would have used my free ticket to come in that day and I get Lawler versus Kamala, I'm pretty happy that I got to see the match. I'm not happy with that clusterfuck of a finish, but it gets us to Monday night. And when we get to the Monday, we're not ready for the Monday night card yet, but I do love that, like, they're having this big giveaway Monday night, and they show this picture of all this crap. Like, Rosie was in there with me when I'm watching it, and she's like, what's all that shit? And I'm like, it's a bunch of crap they're giving away Monday night from Airport Toyota. You got to bring an ad from the commercial appeal. You get $1 off general admission, and then you get entered in this prize giveaway. And so the recap says there was a Kenner RoboCop Ultra Police Robocopter, a Rhapsody Baby Boomer portable AM/FM radio, a Conair telephone, a makeup mirror, a Wilson football, a GPX Slimline stereo cassette player, an AM/FM digital clock radio, and a something from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and a telephoto pocket camera is what for some reason what AI said that's what those prizes were when I put that picture and said, what is this picture of? And that's the list of shit it gave me that all that stuff is. Now, whether that's accurate or not, I have no idea.
Well, Dave and Corey, like, in detail read off all of the features on each item. Did you record?
Oh, I fast forwarded past it, so I didn't know.
Dude, then you missed it. Corey fucked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It was his chance to like say what it was. It was like some kind of ball or some shit. And he says, Teenager Mutant Ninja Turtle. And fucking Dave's like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yes. Like,
oh my God. I thought you were going to say that Corey actually said like the N-word in there.
No, Teenager Mutant.
Mutant.
Teenager Mutant. Please go back and watch it.
I definitely will. I will clip that and put that on Facebook. That's tremendous. Yeah, sometimes I guess I'll scroll past that the first time it comes up because I don't want to spoil anything in the show later. And damn, yeah, I should have watched that. But next up, we got a promo from Dr. Tom Pritchard. I didn't get a clip of this. He's still rocking the old Continental Alabama title with this plate bolted to the front of it. Looks like shit. This may be the worst Southern title belt we've ever used. And the Alabama title is a pretty cool looking belt, but the whole front of it's a picture of the state of Alabama. So you had to cover it up completely. But he's getting ready to take on Tony Falk, and the match never officially started. I think it's like the second or third time that Tom Pritchard tried to wrestle Tony Falk, and something like this has happened. I think Eric come out and offered to take his place a couple weeks ago, and then Tony ran in. But anyway, ends up Dr. Tom gets DDT'd on the floor by Eric Embry. It's not exactly Jake DDT and Steamboat on Saturday night's main event, but it made a pretty good sound when he hit the floor. So Embry's screaming, "Don't mess with my personal life" during all this. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I guess just because it didn't start out the way we wanted to, I still just am not sold on this Embry-Pritchard feud, and it should have been a big damn deal for as long as they were partners and they were such a big part of things this year. But even this DDT on the floor bit, I'm still just not feeling it. It just feels, I don't know, less than.
The eyes don't lie, Chico. the eyes never lie, Chico. Like they don't. I don't see it. They don't look like they believe it. They look like they don't want to do it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it. They don't look like they believe it, and it's absolutely translating. And
yeah, I agree. And then it goes back to the whole stipulation. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking we're doing all this stuff for a match where Tony Falk's hair's on. Even if he does, you know, thinking he's going to lose it, but this really is a big deal. A big deal. And then don't talk about my personal life. You know, don't come out there and talk about, you know, the gold line stuff there. So that I like that part of it. You know, don't talk about.
They're trying, but then again, it's like, well, Eric, you came out and spent 4 minutes talking about your personal life earlier.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Not Tom, but I guess it's your business to talk about. But something else I meant to show before we move on. Right here where they went through the card for Monday night. Last week, we gave them a lot of grief for showing a picture of the actual Ultimate Warrior on the Chiron where he was going to be wrestling Tony Falk. And I just want to say right now that I formally take back everything I said. I totally understand. And I actually don't understand why they didn't use that picture of the Warrior again, because this was the alternative.
Oh my God.
Who's buying a ticket to see this guy?
What the hell?
He sent that picture in and they're like, use a fucking picture of the Ultimate Warrior. Good God.
Like somebody on the other side of that camera that only he can see, the cameraman can't, is like pulling their dick out or something. That can't be the look that he just said, like, all right, now, you know, make a face for the picture. That can't be the one he went with. He looks horrified right there. It's
right before they said cheese, Jimmy Valiant checked his oil. What was that is?
Oh, Warrior. That ain't what you're used to sticking in your ass, is it? It was either that or they snapped a picture the moment they told him they were wrestling the Moondogs that day.
That was it right there. Yeah.
Holy shit. That popped up on the screen. I was like, okay, I totally get that Warrior picture last week. Let's go back with that again, because that is horrendous. Jesus Christ.
That's bad.
So next up, we've got our expiration of time multi-fall match of the week, because it's going to be Jeff Jarrett and Robert Fuller. They're back together. At one point in the commentary, Corey has to say, well, they made that promise if they lost the match, they'd split up. So they split up, but now they're back together. They kept their word. They split up, but now they're back together, Dave. And I'm like, why point that out? Like, would y'all shut up? Like, y'all keep talking about that. They keep talking about that. Fuller and Jarrett keep talking about it. It's like, just shut up. Just I hope that everybody forgets. Quit beating us over the head with it every week, for God's sake. And they're going to be taking on Doug Masters and Bart Sawyer. Now, we're going to take a look at the first fall here. And when this is over with, we're going to see what happens, like a couple of spots here that led to the finish of the first fall. We're going to see the aftermath of the first fall. I felt a certain way when I first watched it. I felt a little different when I clipped it. So I want to see what you guys' initial reaction is to this, and then we'll go from there. But here it is, tag team main event.
Now and Jeff in the headlock into the rope. Bart Sawyer comes over. Oh! He stepped over Jeff and knocked his partner Doug Masters right down on that concrete floor. Masters over here.
Yeah, Masters just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Masters was where he should not have been. He should have been back down with one hand on the turnbuckle, but he wasn't. And Sawyer trying to apologize to him now.
Yeah, Sawyer's trying to go into the ropes. Masters standing over there someplace he wasn't supposed to be. Masters, Bart Sawyer, referee Frank Morrell trying to get Jeff outside of the ring. Masters and Fuller inside the ring now. Sawyer on the top rope. Whoa! What a kick. Lays up. Masters out. Robert Fuller for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Got him. How about it?
And Doug Masters is defeated with the Masters now struggling back to his feet. Oh, look at this. Trouble. He's not happy about what just happened. What are you doing? He says. How can we win if you're knocking me down and hitting me? What's going on, huh?
Doug Masters was knocked around quite a bit in there. down by Sawyer again. Sawyer, 7 matches now. Boy, this looks like a team is about to split up here, Dave. And once held the USWA World Tag Team titles.
They're certainly not in good shape right now. Now Doug is going to say, all right, let's shake hands. There's the handshake.
Yeah,
The bar. Oh! Now, Master, he's got brass knuckles around his knuckles there.
Brass knuckles, yeah. Some brass knuckles there. Oh, he just goes right after his partner, Bart Sawyer. Masters and Sawyer now. Whoa! Big clothesline by Doug Masters. Oh, man. Bart Sawyer made some mistakes in the mouth. And just nailed Doug Masters several times on the body. Masters says, hey, what are you doing? Pulls out some brass knuckles and now wailing away on his former partner, Bart Sawyer. Throws Sawyer to the rope. Big backdrop on Sawyer. Doug Masters still going at Bart Sawyer. Well, I would have thought this team would be together for a long time. They won the world tag titles. And
Masters brought Sawyer in here after he had a tough day on Championship Wrestling. He said, I'm going to get me a better partner. Well, he brought Sawyer in. They won the titles. But, boy, here today, as I said during the match, the timing was off. And Sawyer hit Masters 3 or 4 times during the match. Ended up costing this team the match. And Masters has taken it personally and going after Sawyer here. Look at this, Corey.
Frank Morrell.
Yeah, but look at the time. We're going to have time for a second fall, it looks like, and this tag team is not going to be in any shape to continue together here. I don't know what they're going to do. How are they going to come back out here for a second fall?
All right, so this isn't one of those Memphis things or wrestling things where there's been weeks of foreshadowing and we knew this was coming. Clearly, this was just only foreshadowed in 2 ways. One, they were inexplicably both in singles matches this week on the Monday night card, and then immediately this shit starts happening where, Bart's accidentally hitting Doug Masters. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to hear the opinion of you two on the turn and everything that took place after the match.
I guess I was happy to see it just because I knew they're not going to be a tag team anymore, and more than likely they'll fizzle out. But I kind of felt guilty feeling that way because, man, the Bartman sold that really well. That clothesline Masters caught him with, the way that he sold that looked like he knocked him fucking silly. And I kind of, like I said, I started feeling guilty again because I really didn't like the Bartman when this all started. I was very critical. I couldn't even remember his name because I was so just But over the last few weeks, I've slowly started more and more liking the Bartman. And it seemed like he keeps getting better the more he's on TV, where, I really could I could do without Masters. But, yeah, I like the way it happened because it was kind of like, okay, the first, well, I didn't mean to do that. And then they had another instance where it was one of them fucked up. And that drop kick, oh, my God. He landed on Masters' legs. Maybe that's one of them knee pads just shot straight down to the bottom of his boot because the Bartman knocked him back into him. But, yeah, that finish was crazy. The turn was good. And, I was the happiest I've been with Masters and Sawyer this whole time was right then.
I agree with Josh with this. I loved it. I love the turn. I know babyface, and this goes with, I know Bart Sawyer, the babyface, is much better than the heel, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I thought it was kind of vicious too. I mean, they were all over the place with it and gave them a lot of time. This match was also one of those matches where I felt like it was Mid-South Coliseum and it wasn't a house show or nothing. Is it because y'all think maybe they had not a lot of people and they just wanted people to, do their thing for the day that was there? Also, that kick, yeah. Didn't Sawyer do the same kick the Sandman did? But didn't Sawyer do that before also?
He did it with both feet, though.
Both feet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. yeah, like, did you know, like, there was not any jobbers here today. I mean, yes, Spirit of America and Warrior got treated like jobbers,
but they weren't jobbers.
Not.
Right.
Yeah.
So that felt odd.
Where's
so
Sandman? Where's JT Smith? Where's, you know?
Yeah.
This
where's Chris Frazier?
Yeah.
This isn't the end, I guess, but like
No.
this up to this point, this has felt like they've had something to prove. Like somebody was watching or something. They had to kick it up to another level this week for some reason.
I don't know if y'all know this, but they went back in time with Jeff Gaylord, and
Bob Hope was like, "You gotta improve."
And I'm sorry, guys, but they're going to do somebody from USWA is going to do a review show just like this one of this show, like we did.
Yeah,
I mean, where they got that idea at, but yeah.
If this show was in real time, if USWA was happening now and our show was in real time, we would all sit here and go, "Oh, they definitely heard what we've been saying."
Right.
Had to have. There's no way this is coincidence. So when I first watched this the other day, I absolutely fucking hated. Here's what I hated about it, and then when I softened on it a little bit when I did the clips, but here's what I hated about it. He reaches in his tights, pulls out what the announcers call brass knuckles. Now, from where they're sitting, they can't see. So somebody told them, hey, he's going to use brass knuckles.
I'm sorry.
Do you know anything about fucking brass knuckles, BT? Have you ever been hit with them? Have you ever seen anybody get hit with them?
I have. So, yes. I mean, for shoot, I saw someone get hit with brass knuckles.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's
so
over.
Somebody gets punched 5 fucking times with brass knuckles. Because that's how many times he punched him with the quote-unquote brass knuckles. He punched him 5 times. I counted it the second time I watched it. He punches him 5 times with brass knuckles, backs him in the ropes, shoots him off. Now, the only redeeming factor to this is the clothesline looked like it killed him. If he'd have fucked off out of the ring right there, perfect. If he'd have hit him 1 time with brass knuckles and walked away, that would have been ideal. Okay, you hit him 5 times. Now you're backing him into the ropes and shooting him off when he should be knocked out and bleeding. But the clothesline looked like murder. All right, I'll forgive that. Fuck off out of the ring. No, he picks him up, backs him in the corner, chops him, fucking gives him a backdrop, gives the outside of Secrets of Pro Wrestling. And you can use the 80s VHS version or the shit they did on TV in the 2000s. The phoniest, hokiest, shittiest looking worked kicks I've ever seen in my life. Immediately after hitting with brass knuckles, he's hitting with just the god awfulest fucking kicks I've ever fucking seen. And then shoots him off, backdrops him. And then Bart starts to make a comeback on him and he powders out. After all that, fuck that turn. That was stupid. That was fucking stupid. And then we're getting told, well, Bart's not going to be able to continue because of what happened. No, he was able to make a comeback. Yeah, he fell to his knees and held his head a little bit, but like he should have been knocked out after 1 punch from the fucking brass knuckles. If nothing else, he should have been out after the fucking clothesline.
Josh,
you come back from all that? Fuck off,
Josh. I feel like Rosie does when Gene talks about a horror movie that they just watched. There's no way that motherfucker could come back after that. You know that far he got fired up and he fell off a building. He's watching Friday 13th or Halloween and he's going off on it. I get
there's
what
a difference
you're
between
saying,
suspension
but
of disbelief and needing a fucking lobotomy to buy this shit.
I guess I got one this week.
So then we come back for the second fall, and it's going to have to be Doug Masters versus Jarrett and Fuller because now Bartman can't continue. Bartman. But Richard Lee is here to save the day because fuck Jarrett and Robert Fuller. He's going to loan him one of the dogs.
That's
and so
right.
now he's got a tag team partner, Moondog Spike. And then in a move that Stevie Wonder could have called in his sleep, here comes the other Moondog into the ring. Here comes Bart Sawyer into the ring, and it ends in a big clusterfuck. And fine, fair enough. But we don't change the card into a Bart Sawyer versus Doug Masters match. He's still got a match with Dirty White Boy. Doug Masters is still going to wrestle the goddamn Candyman Monday night. and so... All right, I guess we'll get to this eventually, but I don't know, man. Again, if he'd have just punched him with the brass knuckles or left him laying after the clothesline, I'd have been okay with this. But all that just felt fucking stupid to me. Like sometimes less is more, and this is one of those times. But hey, you guys like it, so what the fuck do I know? I'm just an asshole.
Well, hey, that's why we do this. We all don't have the same opinions, and it makes it interesting. We talked about that this week, so it's I love the whole idea of bringing Spike out and doing it with Masters, and then I'm just so fired up about Fuller and Jarrett with the Moondogs. I don't know why I got so excited about that last week, and still, they do a promo at the very end. Sure you don't put that up, but
I did make a clip. I mean, it's for the second week in a row. They're both bleeding.
Yeah, I love it. I just love
red and hollering, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't a bad promo, but fuck, we've seen this in every feud they've done.
And I noticed that Fuller during the match, I wrote something about this, but Fuller had that tape on his head, and all I could think about was he was blatant every night, probably against the Moondogs, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm glad you love it, because we're getting ready to head into 92. You're going to get all the Jeff Jarrett versus the Moondogs your little pea-picking heart can stand, sir. There's going to be Jeff Jarrett versus the Moondogs coming out your fucking ears for the next year and a half. So strap in, buddy. I got a feeling it's going to be kind of like some of the other things in the past, like Texas.
Gene,
this is awesome. And then like week 27, like, God damn it again. Mm-hmm. Really? How many chairs can they hit each other with? How many fucking tables can we break? But I don't know. We'll see. Anything's better than this parade of random tag teams that we've gotten this year. And then we got, Doug Vines and Jeff Swords, and then they come in with masks, they leave, they come back, they lose the mask, they leave.
I think that was part of it. We had like 4 shitty shows, maybe 5. You had said that whole thing about the show was really bad, and you said, I hope they bring it next week or whatever you said, and I was just like,
quit saying that shit.
Yeah, you cursed everybody with that, and then I was excited about last week. I thought this was just big thumbs up on this show. Just a really good show. I noticed the people missing, but I love Fuller and Jarrett in the ring against Sawyer and Masters at first, and then the Moondog, and then Lawler and Kamala, and then love seeing the Moondogs beat the shit out of the Warrior and Spirit of America. So it was a plus for me.
You know why BT's really happy? Do you know what it really boils down to?
What's that?
It's December. No more softball talk. Softball's over. That's why his mood is elevated, because Lawler's not enraging him talking about softball in Halls, Tennessee.
Well, he's going to get a chance to say everything he just said again after the commercial break, because we're going to ask him. We're going to actually ask him what he thought about the show. He's going to have to tell us all that stuff he just said, or we might just clip it and play what he just said in the part of the show where we talk about what we liked and didn't like. So let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back right after this.
Always wanted to be in the professional wrestling business? The EPW Wrestling Academy is now enrolling. Visit EPWWrestlingMS.com for all the details on how to make your dreams a reality. Do you have what it takes?
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, It's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia podcast network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Hey everybody, I'm Gene Jackson, and I want to introduce you to the Retro Wrestling Archive Podcast Network and the great pro wrestling nostalgia podcast we bring, including the Retro Wrestling Review Series covering the USWA, Memphis Power Pro Wrestling, Continental Championship Wrestling, and we've just added World Class Championship Wrestling, and now ECW. Plus great interview shows like Beyond Wrestling with Rob Helt, where the stories go beyond the ring. Then there's Dangerous Conversations with the legendary Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich. Plus, don't miss special live streams like Live from the Archive and Arc of an Angle. And the Retro Wrestling Archive Network is growing. We're proud to feature the affiliate shows like STS Pod, The Hang, Classic Pro Wrestling Talk, Get Your Bell Rung, and even more great shows are coming soon. That's not all. Join the Retro Wrestling Archive Patreon for exclusive bonus content, early podcast releases, special extras, and access to a Google Drive that is absolutely busting at the seams with territory wrestling history, including our legendary Memphis Mega Folder. Podcast, interviews, watch-alongs, live streams, YouTube, Patreon, territory wrestling history. It's all waiting for you at RetroWrestlingArchive.club, where we're preserving pro wrestling history daily. Don't just remember it, relive it.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's STSpod.club, and we got it all covered. We've got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern fried brain of me, BT, stirring the whole ship. We also have rolling into Memphis every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSpod.club, or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
All right, guys, let's take a look. We've referenced a couple things already, but let's take a look at the Monday night card and find out what all this was leading up to, and then we'll talk about how we felt about the show again.
The Coliseum, the opening match. Tony Falk will be going against the Spirit of America. And then Bart Sawyer is scheduled against the Dirty White Boy in a single match. That is Bart Sawyer there. That is on the bottom of the two of Sawyer and his partner Doug Masters, his former partner Doug Masters. So Sawyer in a single match against Dirty White Boy. Doug Masters will be going against the Candyman in yet another single match. Candyman sort of on a roll, and he's got a tough assignment come Monday night as he takes on Doug Masters. Then there's going to be a change. Yeah, okay, there's the change right there. These two had been scheduled against different opponents earlier, but this is the way it's going to be. The Sandman will be going against the Warrior because there has been a change in the other matches. Next match of the night, Southern Heavyweight title on the line against Eric's driver Tony's hair. Tony Falk's hair is on the line. That's the only way Embry could get the match with Dr. Tom Pritchard. So if Pritchard successfully defends that Southern Heavyweight belt, Tony Falk is going to lose his hair. The new look, Eric Embry, is going to be trying to take the belt from Dr. Tom. Next match of the night, this is the one that was signed here today as a result of a highly controversial ruling where the referee finally said he had had enough all the way around and he was stopping. Lawler against Kamala for the Unified World Title. This one will be settled Monday night as the belt has now been held up. And then Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller, will be going against the Moondogs with the World Tag Team titles on the line. It's all Monday night, 7:30 at the Mid-South Coliseum.
You know, this is one of those uniquely Memphis things where I feel like there was almost more heat on Frank Morrell coming out of that than there was on Kamala, if we're being honest. I also wanted to point out that that picture they used for the Dirty White Boy looks like he did a senior portrait wearing his Dirty White Boy vest. He's like, it's such a strange pose for a guy calling himself the Dirty White Boy from Bucksnort.
Have you
Tennessee.
ever been at a wrestling show, and I can tell you I was, where the main champion did his gimmick photos at JCPenney.
Glamour shots.
Oh God, it's a Malden story. So you bring me on during a Malden deep dive for that one. Jesus, yeah.
Some of those pictures look like it should have the two different ones, where you get like the shot of them, and then you get to one of them like looking off in the distance, but not full. The opacity's turned down or whatever you call it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that Dirty White Boy shot feels like it deserves one of those. But well, all right, here we go. We've heard the card, we've seen the show. Now the question is, what was your least favorite part of this week's show?
The new Eric Embry. I don't like the hairdo. It looked like he got some kind of, I don't know, some kind of like fluffing done or something. Got the bangs feathered.
I bet he did, if you know what I mean.
Probably so.
That's
and
why he got in trouble.
But yeah, he was bumbling around. He was too calm. He was not the Eric Embry that I've grown to love. It's just like he's wearing that cheap suit and just it's everything Eric Embry is not. I mean, he did fire up during the show, but that whole presentation was just awful.
Even though I would love to say there's nothing I dislike, I have to go with Josh just for him flubbing up. It doesn't really have anything to do with his hair, the suit, or anything. It's him asking Dave live on the air about that. Like, help me out here. Do the lance. Come on, Dave. Help a brother out. But that was probably it. I love the hair, by the way.
Oh, yeah. The fact he wasn't scratching his head like he had lice was a huge improvement on
the whole presentation.
On my account. Well, of course, this is no surprise here. The overdone turn of Doug Masters. Everything after the clothesline was my least favorite part of the show. So, most favorite part.
Oh, definitely the Kamala versus Lawler match. Like, yeah, BT was pointing it out. It was a Coliseum match. I mean, you could tell it was different. Like I said before, it felt like they told somebody to watch this, or they were trying to prove a point, and maybe somebody got in their ear that your TV product over the last month and a half has been horrible, just god awful, and like, this is not what Memphis wrestling is. Y'all got to do something. And Lawler was like, well, watch this, motherfucker. And man, a couple different instances on this show was just leaps and bounds better than it has been. But man, that match was something. We've never seen Kamala like that, at least on live TV in Memphis before, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kamala Law is my favorite part, and it was, I was saying a Mid-South Coliseum. There's almost three versions of show matches that they do. One would be the squash match on TV. One would be a house show match, where with the house show match you see a little bit more action and sometimes a little bit more comedy when it comes to Memphis wrestling. But then you have the Mid-South Coliseum. I thought, Fuller and Jarrett against Masters Sawyers was also that. And I believe it has something to do with what Gene said. Hey, we don't know what the weather was that day. I guess I could look it up. But it might be they didn't have a lot of people and they decided they was going. But 13 minutes is a long time for a world title match. Excellent match. And then Fuller and Jarrett going at it with the Masters and Sawyer getting a lot of heat on Fuller again, but that felt like a Mid-South Coliseum match also. But yeah, Lawler against Kamala. God, I love that match.
Just the first fall of that tag team match was longer than most team matches we've seen this week. And then they did a whole nother second fall that went for, more time than I would have thought before the run ends. Yeah, I got to agree with y'all. I got to, triple down on the Lawler versus Kamala. This, using TV lingo, this almost felt like it would have been sweeps week, and they had to really bring it to like keep their, time slot or to
Right.
people to sponsor them or some shit. I don't know, but I like it because I was afraid that 91 was just going to go out like a wet fart like 93 did. But if they don't just completely drop the ball the next 3 weeks, this show alone was enough to say, like, all right, 91 ended way better than 93 did. So this begs the question, because in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, in my mind, this is a 2-match card Monday night. Would you buy a ticket to go see this show Monday night?
I think so. After watching this week and seeing Kamala versus Lawler and all the wild shit that happened, I can't imagine how it would be at the Coliseum. And then the Moondogs versus Jarrett and Fuller, that they're gonna kick it up a notch too, man. Hell yeah, I'm going.
I'm with Josh. I'm there. We're gonna go together and then stop by Crystal's and get some of them burgers. So in West Memphis, yeah, I'm going.
I'm going to go, but I don't care if I'm late. like Dirty White Boy against Bartman, Candyman against Doug Masters. None of that does anything for me. And I'm like, well, as long as I show up in time to see Tony Falk get his head shaved, that's probably about as much as I need to see of Tom Pritchard and Eric Embry. Although BT may have a surprise for us. I don't know. But speaking of that, that's all the questions. So now we get to hear, aside from any other cards he may have results of, what did it all lead to?
Well, yeah, we would have added 3 people to this. 600 people at the Coliseum, so no one wanted to come see this.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to find the weather during that time. It might have just been a shitty time with cold weather and stuff. But with Spirit of America beat Tony Falk. Surprise! Bart Sawyer drew with Tony Anthony in a babyface match. Meltzer made sure that was a babyface match. Candyman pinned Doug Masters.
Then asked him to go to church afterwards.
That's right. He said, yeah, I found the God. I
hope Bartman caused a distraction in that somehow.
Probably did. Yeah, I that's what BT Booker would have done that. Yeah. This is a surprise, y'all. Eric Embry beat Tom Pritchard to regain the Southern title in a match with Fox Hair at stake.
Wow.
Is that fucked up or what? We guessed that the whole show, and it's CJ, y'all. It's CJ. It is.
Now, I may be wrong, but I'm guessing, knowing how those guys are, Tony Falk probably went to the ring thinking he was going to get his head shaved. Like, they probably didn't tell him what the real finish was until he heard the 1, 2, 3. But I could be off there.
Man, I would just like to talk to Falk about 1991, just week by week, the shit that they made him do, man. Kamala pinned Jerry Lawler to regain the USWA title when Lawler was pinned after being hit over the head with a surfboard by the Sandman. Oh, yeah, the Sandman against Lawler coming up. I guess it was one of those things. It's why the hell did you bring me in here if you're not going to put me in the main event? Moondogs retained the USWA Tag Team titles, beating Jarrett and Fuller when Spot came off the middle rope with a bone to the throat on Fuller, who was injured and will be taking a few weeks off. In other words, it's Christmas, bitches. I'm taking Christmas off.
I'm heading back to Knoxville.
There we go. So, yeah, we won't be seeing Fuller for a couple weeks. Also, I found some results just while I was going through the Observer to get these.
Hey, one thing.
All right.
One question. Because I had went ahead and put down results that I had found too.
All right.
And I got these on cagematch.net. There was an advertised match, Sandman versus Warrior, as we remember that wonderful picture here.
Yeah, I didn't have a result for that.
There's no result for that match, but Sandman was there because he came out and hit Lawler with
right,
surfboard.
But Warrior wasn't there.
Yeah, so I'm
He's
surprised.
probably done.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make somebody wrestle twice or something just to get Sandman in the mouth. I mean, he's all the way down from Philadelphia just to hit Lawler with a surfboard. But if I have a choice of hitting Lawler with a surfboard or wrestling the fucking Warrior, let's go. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. I found a result for Wing, which was on the 10th, which was the next day. In Gypsy, some familiar names. Gypsy Joe and Dragon Master from USWA were there, and they beat the Texas Hangman, which was Bull Payne and his partner from USWA. And also there was Scotty the Body, who was Raven. And Meltzer said the only no-show on that show was Eddie Gilbert. I thought all that was real interesting. So, I mean, we've had Gypsy Joe, Dragon Master, and we have Scotty Body last season. But, yeah, fun stuff as all the guys were getting some work in Wing. I know Gypsy Joe worked Japan a lot. But the Dragon Master, I got to try to find this match with Gypsy Joe, Dragon Master against the Texas Hangman.
Yeah, because they didn't really work around people's limitations in Japan. It's not like somebody's like Memphis. You can let Lawler wrestle him and they can bullshit their way through a match. And by all accounts, this guy is horrible. So I can only imagine what that had to be in Japan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope we can find that. That's wild. But
that's it.
There you go.
That's all the results I have for this week.
All right. Well, the TV was a vast improvement. Not enough to get people to come to Coliseum, apparently. But again, there's two schools of thought on that. One, it could be the weather. But number two is, well, you just gave them that match on television, and they did a lot in that match. So maybe that's it. I don't know. And the rest of the card was pretty weak, beside from the semi-main and the main. But we'll see if the numbers improve, but for right now, I guess it's time to hit the plugs and let's talk about what's happening on stspod.club this week, BT.
Oh, just want to thank everyone for the great 4th of July weekend on stspod.club, and we had a lot of viewers that surprised me for the Power Pro show. Rumble on the River, we had such a good time. I'm not a fan of watching watch along too, I want to say that again. I'm not a fan of the way we did the Power Pro this weekend, but it was perfect. Gene told me in advance and keyed me in, and we had such a good time with that. If you haven't watched it, go out of your way. Rumble has it. I think everybody has it. So if you haven't listened and you're not a Patreon member, we do a CWA show now. I do it with Steve Crawford, and we had the debut of Paul Heyman on there this week, and I had a story about the debut of Paul Heyman. Met him the Friday before that Saturday, so it's fun. As always, rolling into Memphis on Saturdays. Go out of your way this past Saturday. Main event of Tim Bosby against Mike Anthony. May have been the best match on Memphis Wrestling in 280 episodes. Excellent match. We do Power Pro on Mondays for the audio, and on Thursdays we do a special edition. This week is WTF News Desk, and we go live at 7:05 p.m. for a 5-minute time limit.
There you go. As you can hear there, Josh, I've officially been fired from all the BT shows. I'm off the WTF. Now I'm off the CWA show, which I think that was my show at some point, but it's not anymore. So
and right along ringside with Gene and
right
friends.
Along ringside.
Gene's not even there. It's just Gene and friends. Friends is me.
Now it's just friends. So yeah, there you go. That means it's time to talk about P3 Radio. Did you get a chance to check out P3 Radio this week?
I did, and Josh, for some reason they didn't even y'all did it on Friday, and I didn't even see it until I got ready to go to bed at 7:00 on 4th of July. But episode 465. That is America was the name of it. Good episode. I'd give it 4 out of 5 hoots. They talked about 1776. A time portal with people jumping out with muskets. Fireworks in September. That's always fun. You're just sitting around the house and all of a sudden you start hearing fireworks in September. Big fireworks. Fireworks were a big deal when we were kids. I love that because it's so true. Like, fireworks don't do anything for me now, but as a kid, I had to have fireworks. Yeah. Richard calls Josh his mom. That's what I wrote down. Josh complains about Oscar's Taco Shop. We hear a Toby Keith song. We have English people taking Viagra because of the elevation. Little Penis Man did a GoFundMe. Maybe I could do that. Flavored shampoo, OnlyFans demographic breakdown. I love that. We had a story about Mexican Batman. They were having way too much fun when they were doing the translator, which I really did like that. And take Xanax or burn the car. So there you go. That's what I wrote down. Good show. I just, by the way, just want to say I got, I want to say I got Joshed, but maybe I got Richard this week. I text Richard a message and said, because he always talks about Rick and Morty, and I watch Rick and Morty, but the creators also come out with a show called Solar Opposites, and it's not as popular, but I love it. It's hilarious to me. And I said, do you watch Solar Opposites? Because you watch, he quit watching it because they switched one of the voices to a British guy. You know,
I figured he'd be like a moth to a flame with that.
I know. And
he loves the Brits.
And then he says, because, yeah, and then I text him, I said, yeah, that guy that was doing the voice for that character diddled somebody. That's all I said. I didn't say it. Ugh. He did the Richard. He got a screenshot on Google and sent it to me to show that I was wrong, that guy was not guilty for diddling anybody. So I felt honored. And had a really big laugh about that. I said, well, he does Josh like this every week. I don't feel bad. But I thought it was funny that he quit because of the British accent. I quit watching Quantum Leap because he leaped into a monkey. So my question is, have y'all stopped watching a TV show that you watched forever because of something that stupid happened? Can y'all remember that?
With me, you know, like, I don't know. I used to really want to watch It's Always Sunny, and then I forget which, it was maybe like 2013 or something, or maybe 2014. One of those years where the premiere episode, I was so excited, and it was just so goddamn weird and borderline not as funny as it was, and I just cut the rope right then. I'm like, I'm done. I was happy up until this point, and you know, I can look back and still laugh at the other stuff, but I still haven't watched any of the newer stuff. And same thing with kind of like South Park, where they just kind of got into the weeds a little bit and got a little out there. So I was like, I'm done.
I'm sure there has been for me. I can't think of any examples, but I'm fickle enough. I know I'm sure I've cut off shows for sillier stuff than Richard, honestly, but I'd have to think on that for a week. So.
I think it's easier to do now because we have all this streaming stuff, and we have so many. Like if you watch 3 or 4 episodes and you say, "Well, man, this sucks. I'm gonna quit watching it." But I remember back even with Dexter, there was a season that everybody hated, and a bunch of people quit watching it, and I was like, "I ain't quit watching that. I don't quit watching that show. I gotta watch it all." So I kept watching it, but now same thing with Walking Dead. Walking Dead got real slow, but I kept watching. But now we quit watching the show after season 3 because it was so stupid. And me and the wife are saying that that was the finale. The series finale was the last show. Yeah. I said, man, I like the way they ended that series. And she goes, yeah, me too. We went right with the whole bit. Yeah, me too. So, yeah, it's crazy. British accent. You would think. He says he likes. See, I'm the opposite. I can't watch British porn, so that's just cannot listen to it. I had to mute her.
I remember being really young, and I stuck with the Facts of Life even when they had the boutique. Like, I loved it. I love that shit. A lot of people jumped off.
They did a lot. Well, TV shows are one of the perfect examples is Good Times. It was a great show, and all of a sudden, Jimmy Walker got so popular that it turned into the Jimmy Walker show. That's all it was about.
Basically. So
you were just like, man, I'm tired of hearing about, this. How many times we're going to say Dynamite, But
that was the thing back then. If somebody got popular, then that damn show, the Urkel show, he wasn't even focal point of that show. Then he got over, and it just became a vehicle for him to say, did I do that every fucking week? And
right.
I didn't watch it, but boy, my little brother did. And I'd come to the room like, God damn it, you watching this? Anyway, speaking of getting in the weeds, So this week over on RetroWrestlingArchive.club, you got all your normal shows that we have over there. You've got Rob and Scotty's World Class Review Show. There's a new episode of the Continental Show that came out this week. Of course, he mentioned the Rumble on the River Power Pro shows out there. As this drops on Wednesday, yesterday, I did an interview with my new friend, Kit Parsons of That's What I Call Wrestling on YouTube. I don't know if any of you folks have checked that out. If you haven't, do yourself a favor, check it out. If you like some of our silliness, that show is just all him watching this silly old weird wrestling, and it's a lot of fun. And man, I had a great time talking to him. We're probably going to do some more stuff in the future. So I want everybody to check that interview out because it was really good, and I hope people check out his channel. And then, of course, next Tuesday, it'll be an episode of Rob's Beyond Wrestling. If you haven't checked out his interview with Miranda Gordy, that was a really good interview that's out right now. Next week, it will be the show that BT was talking about where we start our deep dive series on Ozark Mountain Wrestling. And man, we had a lot of fun with that, and we're just getting started. There's still a lot to talk about there. And so I may do that with some of the retro wrestling shows, alternate between interviewing people and then, doing some deep dive stuff. Like I said, we may seriously go back and look at that IWA thing from Nashville. I don't know how deep you can get with that show. It's pretty silly, but there's some fun stuff for us to look at there for sure. So check that out. Of course, go and check out the Patreons. Mine is at patreon.com/retro wrestling archive. BT is patreon.com/shooting the shiznet. They are both there. There are a couple of very affordable tiers that you can check things out, exclusive content. We share some content, but we have a lot of content we don't. So please check out all of it. And if you haven't already, if you're on Facebook, join our group, the Neutral Corner Lounge, where we talk about the different podcasts and just whatever you want to talk about wrestling wise. Come in there and shoot the shit with us. In fact, BT would say, shoot the shiznet with us, if you will. And be sure and check out our friends over at EPWWrestlingMS.com. The show that dropped last week has a segment with me and Wolfie D on there promoting A Tale of Two Wolves. And Jimmy Blaylock and his band of assholes come out there and start shit with us. And luckily, the problem, Aaron Roberts and Sean Aries was there to back us up. So that was a lot of fun. So make sure you check them out each and every week over at EPWWrestlingMS.com. And I guess that's it, guys. Anything else before we wrap this one up? Besides what we know is going to be the last thing said.
I'm good, man.
Josh, any parting words of wisdom?
I don't reckon so. Just maybe I don't usually do this, but I could hawk my shirts, tinyurl.com/P3R store. Maybe go over there and see how many shirts you can buy. That's about it.
Yeah, that's what you need. I mean, usually BT, does the recap for your show. You don't have to do any of that, but yeah, plug your shirts, man. Plug whatever you got going on. We would love for people to check out your shirts, as our friend Scotty Wentz did. He recently picked up a Memal shirt and
Memal wife beater and a coffee cup.
That's right.
That
so
love her. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign off with thinking about flavored shampoo. What flavor would I want my shampoo to be? As everyone knows, I love my mama.
And everybody else knows I love my dogs.
Perfecto.
Step inside the Neutral Corner Lounge, grab a drink, and pull up a chair. You might know the faces and you definitely know the names, but you don't know the real story. Welcome to Beyond Wrestling, hosted by me, Rob Helt. Every episode, we sit down with some of the biggest and even smallest personalities in the business. But there's a catch. We leave the squared circle at the door. We're not talking about angles, road trips, or title runs. We're talking about real life. I try my best to give you the person behind the persona. We dive into their hidden passions, their off-the-clock lives, and what actually makes them tick when the cameras stop rolling and the boots come off. If you want to know who these people really are when they aren't playing a character, this is the only place to be. Even the Dream knows what's up over here at Beyond Wrestling. Tell them about it, Dream. Subscribe to Beyond Wrestling with Rob today on YouTube or your preferred podcast platform, if you will. Find all the great content that they providing over there at Jackson Media Creation at RetroWrestlingArchive.club. You step into the lounge, them boys will save you a seat. You can come in here, you get funky like a monkey in the neutral corner lounge, baby.